Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone's doing well. So today I'm taking you on a day to work. I'm going to work and we're trying out our new buggy. So I've already been working with this new buggy for a little while and I am loving it. So let me show you what we have going here. So here is my new Taylor Dunn, and we are at work right now, and so this is my watering rig, and so we have this little motorized watering rig right here that's super helpful because I used to just carry 5-gallon buckets and had a 30-gallon tank that I used to carry in the back of my truck in the very beginning, and I used to have a bunch of these watering cans, all different kinds, to water over 60 containers at the shopping center. So now I have this buggy that carries, I think, 140 gallons of water, so I don't have to fill it up that much, and I can carry all of my stuff all in one little buggy. So here's my new little Taylor Dunn, and I just love it. It has signal lights right on the side here. It has a bunch of signal lights. It has hazard lights. It has a little light for the top. This is a emergency shut-off switch. Yeah, the only thing it doesn't have is AC, but that's awesome. I mean, granted, it is a convertible. All right, so let's get going. I had to water a bunch of containers today, and we're gonna do, I don't know, I'm trying to see if I could get a bunch of containers done before 10 o'clock. That's my goal, is to try to get out of here before 10 o'clock. And so it's a little bit early right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I did not bring my tripod with me, so when we get to the containers, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be doing, and then we'll just go from there. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so we're almost done watering, but I stopped at this location to redo these 2 containers really fast because there was barely anything in them. And I just wanted to show you what I put in them real fast. I almost forgot that I brought you along with me. So let me show you what we have going on. So in these 2 containers, these are 2 containers that flank kind of the little pathway that goes into the cinema. And so we've also done these containers, but we did these containers early in the summertime and they're looking really fantastic. We have some potatoes, some sweet potato vine in there, some peppers, some mint, and a bunch of different types of herbs and things for this location, because there's 2 restaurants right over here that I like to kind of incorporate some sort of food or something like that. But in these 2 containers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get them ready for Halloween. That's right around the corner. So we have some purple fountain grass, and then I'm going to put the Silver Falls dichondrat kind of as a spiller. And then I have a bunch of zinnias that I'm going to kind of place around the outside along with some purple petunias. And I think that is just gonna look so sweet with these 2 containers right now. So I don't have my tripod with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and do these 2 containers up, and then I'll show you what they look like once we are finished. All right, so we are finished with these 2 containers. So let me show you what I planted in these 2 beautiful containers. All right, so we have, of course, our, what did I just said it, the purple fountain grass as our thriller. And then we have this Silver Falls. It's going to be a spiller for our spiller. And then I added in some beautiful zinnias, some purple petunias, and yeah, just a variety of zinnias, some orange, some yellow, some pink. And so those are all going to kind of fill out this little area along with the petunias. And I think that's just going to look so beautiful, you guys. And I have to give you an update as to how these turn out over the fall season. But you guys, it is already getting super hot out here. Yesterday was Sunday. It was about 99 degrees yesterday. So today is supposed to be a little cooler, probably about maybe 96. So not that bad, but yeah, so let's just get started. We have a few more containers to do. I have my buggy full of stuff, of supplies. I just loaded it up. So I got some sunflowers. Let me show you these beautiful cone flowers. And you guys, normally I don't like to talk with my sunglasses on, but it's stinking hot. You can just see the glistening sweat coming off of me. All right, so here we have some cone flowers. We have, these are so cute. I'm still debating where I'm going to put these little bad boys, but they're called lamb's tail. So cute. And then we have these white cone flowers right here, along with a bunch of other things up on top. Isn't that so cute? All right, so let's go ahead and get started because I'm already sweating up a storm. and finish up watering a bunch of these containers. I think I have probably about 10 more. 10 more. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here we are in front of the painted store, and we're going to redo this tiny little container. And what I have going for that one is going to be this beautiful purple Angelonia. Isn't that going to be so cute as the little thriller? And then I'm going to put some of this Creeping Jenny right here. And it doesn't look that great. It looks like it needs a little fertilizer, but that's okay. We're going to fertilize it. We usually fertilize these containers once a week, every Friday. So that's how it's going to look. And then we're going to drape around it some beautiful, some zinnias or some zinnias. And I have these little grasses right here. I don't know if you see them, these little tufts of black grass. These are black mamba. And I did pull these out from another container and they're still good. So I think I'm going to pop them into this one. So let's go ahead and get started filling in this container. I already topped it off with some soil because it was a little bit low, and I just use regular potting soil. It's called Green All potting soil that I get from our local nursery, and so I pop that in there. And now we're just going to go ahead and plant. And I usually add in a little slow release fertilizer into the containers before I start planting, but this time I did not bring any, so they're kind of going to go without some fertilizer. But that's okay. That's okay because since we fertilize them every Friday, they'll be fine. But that's what we're gonna do. Let me go ahead and pop these all in, and then I'll show you what they look like once they get done. All right, so we are finished with this container, and look how cute that looks. So we have this beautiful Angelonia, purple Angelonia in the middle, along with some zinnias kind of flanking as a filler. And then we added this black mamba grass along with this creeping Jenny that's going to be the spiller that's going to come out. Isn't that so sweet? You should have seen how it looked like before. It was so ugly. It had some marigolds that were dying out. It had some snapdragons that were dying out. It just looked, yeah, not pleasant to look at. So here we are, nice, fresh looking container, and I just love it. So now we have a few more containers to do before the shopping center opens up. The shopping center opens up around 11 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. And so right now it's about 9:30. So I have a couple more containers to do, one in front of the Starbucks and one in front of the Black and White store. And I think that's pretty much it. And then we are done for the day. So, but look at this container. Isn't that so cute? I mean, it's all green, but this is called a creeping wire vine. And let me tell you, I've tried to remove it from this container many times. I think I placed it in this container probably the second year, maybe I started working here, and I've been trying to remove it, but my goodness, yeah, it's not going anywhere. It loves this pot. It loves this location. And so I think it's pretty much going to stay. But isn't that so pretty? I love it. And this one is called a Japanese. Oh my gosh, I have it right at the tip of my tongue. It's such an easy bush to remember. Jewel something. I forgot. I forgot. But it's just a regular perennial. Stays green like this all year round. And I usually would plant some kind of green, like colorful foliage in the center to give it a pop of color. But the roots are so impacted that I can't get anything in there because of this creeping Jenny. And believe me, I've tried to remove it many times, like just cut it all back and try to remove as many roots as I can, but it comes back every year. So I kind of just leave it because it's pretty and it's so fluffy. And it looks like this all year round, green like this. And yeah, so let's keep going and finish up some more containers. All right. All right. So over here at the Starbucks, kind of embarrassed about this pot. This pot looks extremely ugly. So let me show you what we have going in this container right now. All right. So this container, we have, I believe this is a Vinca, this spiller right here. And it's supposed to have purple, little purple flowers. But there is something that has been eating it. And if I lift this up, there's a bunch of white flies that are going to come out. I have been spraying it with the Captain Jack. That has been working. But as you can tell, it just does not look beautiful at all. It just looks really plain. It looks kind of ugly. It's ugly. There's no other words to describe it, but not pretty. So what we have here is we have a hellebore right here, this one right here, and we have a bunch of these cyclamen, red cyclamen that I left the bulbs in here and they just started growing. I was hoping that they would start sprouting up around Christmas, but I'm going to go ahead and pop all of that out. I'm going to save the bulbs. I'm going to save the hellebore, And we're going to remove this vinca, and I'm probably just going to toss it out because of the bugs. So let me show you what we have going in this container right here. Now, because this is Starbucks, and their colors are like green and white, I believe the green and white colors. So what I picked out was this beautiful cone flower. Let me show you. All right, so here we have this beautiful cone flower that's white and green, and it was the only one that I found at the supply store. So I'm gonna put this creeping Jenny, because these creeping Jennies look so pretty once they're cascading out, and it's a great fall plant. And then I have this hellebore. Is this a hellebore? No, this is a heuchera. Oh shoot. Okay, so the hellebore is in the pot. So this is a heuchera, and I'm gonna go ahead and tuck this out on the side, and then I'm going to add a bunch of these zinnias. I might have some purple petunias that I might put in here into the container, but this is the selection that I have going for right now. All right, so let's get going on this container, removing everything out, and then I have a few more other containers to take care of, but I'm done watering everything, so that's good. But now let's go ahead and tackle this container, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. All right, so there you have it. We have the beautiful white cone flower for our centerpiece. We have the creeping Jenny as our spiller. We have some purple petunias and some beautiful colorful zinnias as our filler. And then we have this heuchera right over here. And I love the way this looks. It has little spots of red in there. You see that? It's beautiful. So that's just going to take care of this little area right here, and this is going to fill in. And I think that's just going to look so sweet. Look how beautiful that is, right next to the Starbucks. So there you have it. We have, I think, four more containers to go. So the shopping center is now open, and it is starting to get busy. So I still need to bust out, let's see, two containers by the black and white store, and then a few containers here and there that I just need to pop in some annuals. That are, the containers are not looking too fantastic, but I'm going to probably have to do them a different day. But I'm so excited that I got this one done because this one was looking so ugly. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the black and white store and a couple other little locations that I want to pop in some annuals to give it a bit of color. All right, so let's get started on that. All right, so over here we have the black and white store, and then in the black and white store in these containers, they're pretty good size. So I have some heuchera that I left in there, and I'm going to put that orange cone flower in both of these containers, and then we're going to add a spiller that comes out of it, and we're going to flank it with a bunch of zinnias and petunias. I think that's pretty much all I have left is a bunch of zinnias and petunias. That's pretty much all the annuals that I purchased because I thought that would be the most colorful. And I think I might not have enough to do all of the containers, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But let me show you these cone flowers that I got going. Look at those. Aren't those so bright and beautiful? I think that's just going to give it such a beautiful pop of color. And then I still got to find a place for these right here. So cute. All right, so let's get started. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you what the containers look like after I get done. And then we're almost finished. All right, so I am finished with the two containers in front of the black and white store. And let me show you how they turned out. They turned out so stinking cute, way better than what I had before. Before I had a bunch of Dusty Millers, and you couldn't even see this heuchera because it was devoured by the Dusty Millers. And so now what I was doing was I was just snipping off the yellow flowers because the Dusty Millers have a yellow flower that pops up, and I'm not really a big fan of the yellow flower, and so I only like the foliage. So these two containers were like one big ball of Dusty Miller. So I pulled them all out, and let me show you what I added in. So here we have this beautiful orange cone flower. And this is so cool because once the flowers start to die out, like this is a pretty hard center. And once the flower petals start to die out, it just leaves like a little ball. And it's so cute. Oh man, I broke this one. Darn it. I snipped that one off. All right, so what I added here, let me snip this off real fast. All right, so what I added was I added some zinnias. I didn't have that many zinnias, so I only added 3 zinnias to each pot, and then to just these two pots. And then I added a creeping Jenny for a spiller. And the reason why I used a bunch of this just creeping Jenny in a lot of the containers because that's what looked that's what looked good at the nursery when I went to plant shop. So I added some purple petunias because I thought that looked so cute with the orange cone flowers for the holiday for was it Halloween? And then I left the heuchera in here, and I love this heuchera. It's just such a cool looking leaf. It's almost like a silvery type of color. It's so pretty, and the backside is purple. It's beautiful. So that's how this container looked, and I mirrored the same with this one right here. Oh man, I broke another one. Shoot, I must have broke these when I put them in. How cute is that one though? Put this one in my ear. So that's how this looks. Is same thing. Added the coneflower, added the zinnia, and the creeping Jenny. So that's how these two containers look. Now I have one more container to do, and I'm going to add some sunflowers in. And so once I'm finished with those two containers, then I'm going to call it a day, and then we're going to be done. So let me show you the two containers that we're going to be doing, and I'm adding some sunflowers in. All right, so these are my last two containers that I just finished. And let me show you, let me turn you around and show you what I planted. All right, in front of this building, this is a vacant business right here. And so I redid these two containers. And what I did was I added the yellow sunflowers. And this, when I got the sunflowers, there was three of them in the pot. So I was able to find two containers with three sunflowers each. So I think that's going to look so cute for Halloween. And then I added the spiller, the creeping Jenny, and then I added the petunias, and I gave it a good watering. I also topped it off with some green all potting soil because the soil was pretty low. I mirrored them both so they look exactly the same. And that is pretty much it for the day. This is about noontime, and it is already super hot. So I'm going to call it a day. And that's pretty much it. Just doing a bunch of containers, watering again, a bunch of containers. And that's what I do for my day job. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and hopefully this encourages you to plant up some containers. And if you're curious about how much it costs to do some of these containers, so like this sunflower was $7.50, and then I added the petunias, and those were three. I want to say no, about $4 for a 6-pack, and then the creeping Jenny was about $4. So some of them I added 2 6-packs. This one I only added one because those petunias are really going to fill in this area, especially when I start fertilizing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Taking care of these containers and calling it a day. Get out of the heat. So take care, be safe. Hopefully this encourages you to do up some containers around your house or, wherever. So take care, be safe. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.